January 6th, 2020 City Planning Commission meeting to order. Our first item on the agenda is the consent to the agenda. Minutes on page 1.
I'll move the minutes.
I'd second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
New business, we have a member resignation. Ron Mayer has put in his resignation. His term expired on December 31st, 2019. Looks like we need a motion to accept the resignation of Ron Mayer from the Planning Board effective December 31st, 2019 and recommend such to the City Council.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item is election of officers.
I would nominate Carly Brockner as chairperson.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Need nominations for a vice chairperson as well then?
I'd be willing to take that.
We'll nominate Mr. Fox.
Second.
Nominations for a secretary. Looks like we have not had a secretary before.
Ron, can we just nominate and name the general city administrator?
name the city
whoever that may be?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what her name
I would
is.
nominate the city administrator in the city of Painesville.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for being willing to do that.
You bet.
Yeah, you could have voted against yourself.
We know.
It's, yeah, right. All right. Looks like we also need to approve the meeting schedule. In the past, the planning board has met the first Monday of each month, October through April, and the first and third Monday of each month, May through September at 6 p.m. Does that still work for everyone?
No issues here.
Okay. We need a motion to set the planning board meetings.
Make that motion as stated.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We have a variance request from Shane Schmidt. Looks like there is an updated not request, if you will, just some updated information in regards to the variance request. The city has received a variance request from Shane Schmidt for 411 Cronus Avenue, Painesville, to add a porch which will not meet the front setback requirements of City Code Chapter 36, Section 36-42E1, which requires a 20-foot hard setback from the road right-of-way. The residence currently meets the 20-foot setback from Cronus Avenue, but with the addition of an enclosed porch area 9 feet wide from north to south and 8 feet wide from the existing structure to the west, the steps leading up to the porch 4 feet. The structure will no longer meet the 20-foot setback and will require a 12-foot variance from the strict requirement of the ordinance, with the improvements after construction being 8 feet from the road right-of-way. The structure is currently non-conforming structure because it does not meet the side setback requirement of a total of not less than 13 feet in combined setback on the 2 sides. Both sides of the existing structure being 5 feet from the property line, but the variance requested here does not increase the nonconformity under Section 36-6 of the City Code. Mr. Schmidt is not able to build the porch on the side of the house due to close proximity of the property lines. He is also not able to construct the porch on the back side of the home due to a kitchen window, door, electrical services, and water and sewer services in this location. The proposed addition would meet all other setbacks, height regulations, and lot coverage. Please review the attached application and report the recommendation.
Okay, and the city attorney had drafted this report and recommendation prior to going on the vacation there. The city staff, prior to done some measuring, and it turns out it's 17 feet, not 20, as measured from the center of the street there. So it is a non-conforming structure there. Then if you look on the next page there, Where adjacent structures within the same block have the front yard setback different from those required, the front yard minimum setback shall be the average of the adjacent structures. So if you look on the next page, it's all the first one there is 18 feet, 13, 17 is the one we're looking at, 7 feet, 7 feet, 10, and 8. So that's where the 12 comes in. The average is 12, so he actually still needs a setback there. And he would only be 9, so he still needs, I think it's a 3-foot setback or variance.
And Ron, is the process, would there be a public hearing, or is this not involve that? Sorry for my ignorance. I'm just trying to determine what our step is here. If it's just goes straight to the city council for approval, or if we have a hearing on it.
I think we have our worksheet that we would send through to the city council for our recommendation.
That is correct.
Yes.
So there is no public hearing in the process at all, correct?
I believe that is correct.
Okay. Interesting.
Is this done quite often, or very rarely?
It's in the older parts of town, you could say it does happen, yes.
It looks like, Carly, from, I guess when I read it, that there would be a public hearing need.
So I was wondering, but if that's set by the council,
Okay. Okay. Oh, is that how that works?
Oh, gotcha, okay.
So we're putting it to the council, and the council would set a public hearing.
that is the way I understand it.
Okay.
Are there any questions in regards to, the new findings, if you will, in regards to that setback at all?
Ron, as I'm reading through the statute here, it talks about a board of adjustments, which we don't have. Is that considered the city council?
That would be the city council at this point.
So then as I'm looking at this, planning commission needs to hold a hearing and make a recommendation to the board of adjustments, which is the city council. And then per the ordinance, then the city council has to hold that hearing. So, and that's section 3655.
Okay.
So do you want a motion?
So it looks like.
Well, we should go through the worksheet first, yeah.
Well, it looks like we need a motion to approve or deny the report recommendation of planning board on application for variance with changes to the measurements and wording reflecting the new information. We need that first?
I would
Or
think
should
you
we
would
do the
go through
worksheet
the
first?
worksheet first,
Okay,
and then do the motion.
okay. All right, now should I read through like this first part of it? Or can I just go into the worksheet? Just go into the worksheet, okay. Whereas the property at issue is tax parcel number 70.39253.0000, which parcel is legally described as follows: Lot 3, Block 2, in Residence Park addition to the city of Painesville, according to the plat and survey thereof now on file and have recorded in the office of county recorder and in Stearns County, Minnesota. Whereas the planning board believes the owner's use of the property as proposed would be reasonable.
Reasonable for reasonable.
Yes.
Whereas the planning board believes that the strict enforcement of the zoning ordinance in this instance would, not impose an undue hardship.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I would say that it would impose an undue hardship.
I've never quite understood, we've had this discussion several times about this worksheet.
Right.
It's worded rather difficultly.
Oh,
In order to correct it, force find that it would be an imposition.
Yes.
Correct.
okay.
Agreed.
And I would say that in this case, he's not able to fully, he can't put a deck in the back.
Yep.
And putting one in the front's not gonna change anything, so I think that would be an undue hardship.
Okay, so it would impose an undue hardship.
That's where I would vote.
Okay. Whereas the planning board believes the landowner's difficulties requiring a variance for this property are due to circumstances unique to the property and not caused by the landowner.
Agreed.
Yes.
Whereas the planning board finds that the variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality.
Agreed.
Whereas the planning board finds that the variance, if granted, will be in harmony with general purpose and intent of zoning ordinance and the comprehensive plan.
Agreed.
Therefore, the planning board recommends that the request for the variance be granted.
Agreed.
Then it looks like we need our motion.
I am making a motion to grant that Schmitz's variance or whatever.
Is that on page 7? Is that what you're looking at? Or looking for?
Yep, down at the bottom of page 7.
Yes. Yep.
I would second that unless we want a reread of it. We're good with it? Okay.
Motion to, yeah. Yep.
You wanna do it with that?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we do have an interest in, a community member has expressed interest in, joining the planning board. Her letter of interest is on page 7 of the updated, agenda.
Yeah, it looks like she's been on the Downtown Council, the St. Cloud Neighborhood Coalition, and the City Comprehensive Planning Board, huh?
It's like quite a bit of involvement in the city of St. Cloud as well, or in the city of St. Cloud.
Ron, was Ms. Westland invited to be here tonight, or?
She was not, she just, I believe she just put the letter in 1/6, that's today, that's what I thought.
Well, it's not that she's purposefully ignoring us. Okay. Then I would move to approve the appointment of Katie Westland to the planning board effective immediately and recommend such to the council.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Oh, did we have a second on that?
I second it.
Okay.
Old business, we do not have any old business that needs to be reviewed. In the informational, our building inspector is out on a fire call right now. So we have the CCLD newsletter for winter of 2019. Me. Looks like there's some new codes that went into effect effective January 1. Still go through the, I don't have much for the building inspector report. Looks like the building permits are still going strong for what we had open for 2019. So next meeting will be Monday, February 3rd at 6 o'clock. Meeting's adjourned.
Well done.